Chris Chinnock here at SID 2013 with Tibor Balak with Holografika. You're the CEO, as I recall. Yeah. And you got actually a really, really excellent demonstration here, folks. This is probably one of the best 3D displays that I've seen to date. It really is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we've got some footage where we can walk around it, and it's got a very, very natural-looking 3D feel. What you also explained to me before was the content is also viewing angle dependent. So some content has kind of a narrow, full field of view. Some has a very wider field of view. What we're looking at right here, this automotive animation, has a very wide field of view, but looks really, really good. And as you walk around from one side, you can look in the front of the window, go around the other side, and you can look in the back window.
So the purpose.
Which is exactly the purpose.
And the reality.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, indeed, what we try to show here, and the HoloVisio philosophy is all around this, that we should show 3D as is in the normal natural view. Yeah. And then, this is an example that a 3D display can be exactly as convenient as a normal 2D display. So you can use, at last, this display like a normal TV at home. You can be here, anywhere. You see a correct 3D from any point you are.
Right?
Yeah, and that's the point. And we wanted to show, because this is what people expect to see 3D. This is, if I look around, this is how it looks like.
Exactly. Now, the technology behind this, you've got about 80 microprojectors back there, each with approximately 720p resolution, as I recall, correct?
Yeah, but we rather use these projectors like the source of light beams. Yeah. And then imagine that those light beams are arranged in a tricky optical setup in the display. So when you are on the screen size, you can see that from every screen point we emit large number of light beams, in this case more than 200 from each point, and then we can emit at very extreme angles. And that's the reason you are there, you can see a correct 3D image.
Right, okay.
That's it.
Right. I mean, really the technology is creating these kind of almost vertical views that are almost, like you said, about a 1.4 degree angular resolution, correct?
Yeah, this is it. So this display is optimized for the wide viewing angle to show a kind of limitless 3D display. So this is an example how a 3D display could behave. Of course, we have, let's say, professional systems, like for scientific purposes. Yeah. Then the same amount of light beams are not distributed on the wide angle, but maybe we keep it on 40 degrees. Yes. But then you can make a much deeper resolution. So if you have more light beams on a narrower range, you can create an extreme deep demos. And right. This is the law.
Right, so you can trade off viewing angle for depth of the volume of the image.
Yeah, this is about the design process. So we have different category system, and the one which is intended for an everyday use is a wider angle. And those who can be for 2-3 people in a collaborative scenario, maybe 40 degrees is still fine. But this is still much more than when you had a normal lenticular display. The 9 degree is something single user scenario. And here you don't have any invalid zones. So really that helps the collaborative use of 3D displays.
You also have a really nice demonstration with a series of playing cards. And again, you can walk from one side of the display to the other. You see the front of the cards on this side. You see the back of the cards on the other, illustrating perfectly that this thing works with multiple views, just the way it would be in real life.
We're suggesting this as a new test pattern. So if you put it on a 3D display and the viewer can tell you what card he sees, then that's a good display.
I like it. That's a great idea, yeah. It's a really good way to see how multi-view it really is. Because you can also then see repeating zones, for example. You go back and see the same views.
Yeah, of course. And then you lost the game. I'm in the poker game.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so you've commercialized the system. You've a number of customers. Tell us about some of the applications and the customers that you've sold the system into.
So basically, we are selling those systems to the professional markets. I mean, medical market. That's one of our main markets. Mostly, we are selling in Europe to image-based diagnostics. CT scanners, medical education, surgical planning. Now we had a project, for instance, for remote surgery. Very interesting stuff. Also, the academia, I mean scientific visualization, that's a big market for us. And in the entertainment, that's to have an event, and then we are renting our equipment. So the event rental, that's also a kind of business. But just imagine a theme park where it is a problem to give out glasses, or cinema lobby promotion. So there are quite a few applications like this, and of course, governmental field, that's another one.
And you have another demo where you've got some video for, I think it was Fraunhofer data that was acquired with 4 cameras, and it's very compelling images. It's like 3 or 4 guys sitting around a table, and you feel like you're actually at the table with these folks. Now there are some rendering glitches that you can see in this, and I think that's more a matter of processing power. Even though in the last year, as you said, you've taken 10 computers that run this down to 2 computers, which is very impressive. But I think that the key point is that even with some of these video glitches, these are solved by more processing power and will be very quickly, correct?
And don't forget, because just have your expectations. So on the display side, if you have your expectation to move freely, on the acquisition side, you have to cover the same range.
Yes.
So theoretically, you would need more cameras. A good question, how many? And then that sequence was an example that content was generated from 4 cameras. That was a European project, the Muscat project. And imagine that the baseline was like 90 centimeter only, but we extremely extrapolated, so about 10 times, and still you could see a quite good image. So we really had to retrieve the information that was missing.
Yes.
In painting, such stuff. And then that process was more or less real time, so it was not 2 weeks post-process to see that. So it was on the fly.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what was so impressive about it. I mean, there are flaws, but you can see the path to making this a very, very compelling solution.
Yeah, that's it. So this is all about the speed and quality, but as the computing power goes up, next year it might be less glitch, then it will be production quality. Because we try to show this way that this is where 3D should be.
Well, you're showing us the way. We really appreciate that.
We try.
Okay. Thank you, Tibor.
Thank you for stopping.
Chris Chinnock for Display Central.